Hey everyone, Melanie Muenchinger here, illustrator for Gina K Designs. Today I am so excited to share my newest set from Gina K Designs with you, Press Flowers 2. This is a set of bold images, flowers, leaves, and stems that are going to work for all occasions year-round, very similar to my A Year of Flowers set that I previously released, and A Year of Flowers 2, which is in the sketchier style. You might recognize these bold images from my recent Fabulous Flowers set, so those are little tiny ones that are going to mix in beautifully with these big bold blooms. Here I'm doing a layered card, and something I'm very excited about. With these two sets, we now have one coordinating die set that's going to fit both. So this is so exciting for me that I have my first die set that is going to be matching stamps that I have illustrated. So when you've got the line art version or the bold, or you mix them together, just this one set of dies is going to cut them all out, and so you can create some really incredible layered cards in a snap. This card that I'm doing today, I wanted to do something a little bit different. You see you have all of these centers for the different flowers separated, and this is really nice because you can create some really interesting backgrounds. You can make these little round flowers all on their own when you attach them to a stem, or you can mix and match them. I've put them next to the flower that they coordinate with, but it's really fun to put maybe a smaller center in a larger opening, or to layer a larger center over a smaller flower. But what I did here, I thought it would be really fun to create something that looks more like maybe a peony or a dahlia by layering the sunflower with its center over the big daisy. So that's what we're going to be making today. The products that we're going to be using, I've got the Gina K Ocean Mist and the Blue Lagoon for the flowers, using the fresh asparagus for the leaves, and the black onyx for that greeting. I've just got some adhesive and some foam squares that I'm going to be using to pop those up. Got the die set, of course. The cardstock that I'm using, I have got the Gina K Blue Lagoon to coordinate with that ink, the black onyx, some of the white. I'll post these measurements for the mats below. And then I've got 2 extra pieces for layering the dies. So we're going to be able to do these in one cut by layering the 2 sheets of Pure Luxury layering weight white cardstock, so that we have all the flowers and the leaves at one time cut for us. That'll be really nice. Then I've just got a 3-inch block. This is the one that is going to fit the largest image on this set, which is that daisy, and therefore it'll fit all of the smaller images. And then you need a die cutting machine. So the one that I'm going to be using today, let me move this so that I can lock it down onto my workspace. I just have a Cuttlebug here, and I'm just going to put it right here, lock that down. It's not going to move now. And we're going to be using the white base plate. We're going to be using the thicker of the 2 clear plates. This is the C plate. And then finally, we're going to be using the thinnest of the Cuttlebug plates. This is the B plate. So you're going to do a sandwich of base, C, your cardstock, your dies on top of it with the cut side down, and then finally that B plate. So let's go ahead. I'm going to put these 2 white pieces that I have here. So this is just quarter sheets of the white layering weight cardstock. And she's got them in a little bag now, and that's really nice for being able to just throw them right back in there, and I don't have to worry about trying to remember how they were arranged on the magnetic mat, and I don't have to worry about them falling off. So I really like this new way that she's going to be packaging them. And then I'm just going to grab a couple of the different leaves. And you can cut out several different things you're not using on this card and then just have them to save. Let's see, which other one did I want to use? I want to use this one. Okay. All right, so we're gonna roll it through one time, but then we're gonna have 2 different layers here. And I don't want to have them too close together because you don't want the dies to shift and then end up overlapping on themselves. And then my last plate, I'm just going to put this on. And I have some warping, so I'm going to use just 1 more sheet of cardstock as a shim. You'll see if you really need that extra layer or not, if they're not cutting. Okay, because you kind of want to hear that crack. A lot of times I'll have it go through 2 times. So I'm going to take my base plate off. Sometimes they kind of stick to it a little bit. And then we're going to just pop these 2 out. And pop out our leaves. And here's that other one in the middle. So you can use all of these on this card, or you could save some for later. And I have one little spot where it's sticking just a little bit right on that edge. It came right off. All right, so let me move this out of the way again. And put down my mat. All right, so let's get started stamping up these leaves. Now, some people prefer to do their stamping first and then to do the die cutting after, but I just find it easier to match it up with my die cut, and then I don't have to worry about it shifting when I am doing my cutting and then being off. And I'm going to show you the little parts that you're going to look for in the cut to help you line up those images. So we're going to do a rolling technique today, and this is going to make these look even more dimensional by having a little bit darker on the outside, but you could also do it on the inside if you want, but we're just going to roll the image right onto that pad. So I'm going to start with my lighter ink, which is the Ocean Mist, and I'm going to do my daisies first. Okay, so I'm going to ink this up all over with that Ocean Mist, and then I'm just rolling just the edges of those petals onto the pad. Okay, so you can see that there. It's going to look a little bit different every time. So the petal that I like to look for on this, and you want to make sure too that when you cut it out, it kind of, there's just so much of a little bit of kind of a curve that goes over. You want to have the curved edge up. The underside comes up, and that is the bottom of it. Okay, so I look for this big petal right here. There's one that sticks out a little bit more than the others and then has 2 little ones to the side. So that's what I look for to line up my image. Stamp that. Okay. And then I'm going to do it again with the Ocean Mist, followed by rolling it in the Blue Lagoon. There's that one big petal right there and right there. Okay. Okay. And now let's do that sunflower. You keep calling it a sunflower, but it can really be any color, any kind of flower that you want, depending on how you layer it and what colors you use. So for this one, what I like to look for, there's one petal that is slightly curved. The other ones are going straight out, but this one is curved. So I just look for the curved petal right there. Stamp that. Okay. And then I'm going to repeat. And if you want, you could even stamp this off, but I just want them to be a little bit bolder, so I'm re-inking every time. And, oh, did I forget to cut out the center? I did. Okay, so I'm going to change this one up a little bit. I'm going to stamp a center into that. Okay, so what I'm going to do is, you're probably yelling at me to grab that last die. I just forgot. That's fine. So this one, I'm just going to go ahead and do this all in the Blue Lagoon. And so there's one bump that's a little bit bigger than the others, and it's right there. So I'm just going to do that right here. Okay. Oh, that's pretty. Okay. So, and I'm glad that I'm showing this too, because you don't have to have the dies for this set to make really, really beautiful layered flowers. Okay. I put that one on the wrong. Okay. Okay. So now let's layer these up with our foam. So I've got one on the back of each of these. And those are going to go right on top of my daisies. And then we're going to stamp up those leaves. And I'm doing those in just one color. But if you want to, look how pretty that is, then if you want to, you could create 2 shades of color by doing stamping off. So maybe I'll do that on one of them. So here's my flowers here. So that's the difference between, I actually even like that better, just how dark that is all over. Love when that happens. Okay, so now let's do our leaves real quick. So I've got this smoother leaf. I'll use the green. And if you wanted, you could do a reverse image. I don't want to get ahead of myself, but there's just, I'll stop talking about all the other things that you can do and just show them in other videos because there really are so many things you can do. Also, watch to the very end because I have a little surprise for you about more dies coming out. Okay. All right. So now we're going to put these on. I like to lay them out first to see where I want to put the stems. Okay. All right, so we've got 1 flower here and 1 flower here. So I want to have my stem. I'm going to have 1 going off this direction. And then when you turn it, that same stem can face the other way. They don't have to touch like that, but that's just how I wanted to do it. And then I'm going to put my greeting there in the bottom. So I think I'm going to do thank you on this one instead of birthday. And I took a little calligraphy class recently, so I did some calligraphy in this set. Really, really on trend right now. And I have a thank and a love, and both of these go with the printed U. Okay. All right, so let's get this layered up. And if you want, you could also do some stamping of the leaves just underneath that are not on a die cut, just to have even more dimension, even more stamped layers. I'm going to take some scissors here. And I'm going to cut these down to make them a little bit skinnier. You can always customize your foam. Let's do a little one on that one. And you notice I mixed the leaves on these, and you can do that. They don't have to be the same. And I think I'm going to put one up here. Okay, so the last thing is just to add 1 to each of these. You could put 3 on there if you really want it to stand out. Put that there. And I think I'm just going to adhere that one the way that I did with my first card without popping it up. And then that way it looks like the flower at the bottom is at the front. Okay. Oh, I'm so excited about these. No cutting and just huge, glorious bouquets. And then making your own custom flowers like this. Right there. All right, and so we're going to put this on the mat. And I've got my mats offset today. This is So I kind of put it in the lower corner, and then just like that. And I'm going to shift this just the tiniest bit so that it's not going off of the card. There we go. All right, and your card's complete. So here's the original one I did. I want to show you a landscape version using these same cutouts and these same size mats, but in a landscape style. And here I just did it in the Gina K Dusty Rose and rolled it in the Passion Pink. Isn't that gorgeous? All right, so that final thing that I wanted to tell y'all about me having dies is that now we also are offering a die set that is going to match my original A Year of Flowers and original pressed flowers. So these are very similar in that they are about the same size and they're the same type of flowers, so that you've got sunflowers in the fall, roses for Valentine's Day, daisies and things for the spring, but it's a very realistic set. So I really recommend getting these dies too. Again, it's just the one set that will cut out either of these, and I'll be showing videos with these also. So please come check out our release party this Thursday and see all the great examples from our design team. I'm so excited to show you what you can do with all of these different new stamps with pressed flowers too, and adding on the coordinating set A Year of Flowers too, and of course these great new dies. Thank you for watching today. God bless.